In Matthew chapter 19, verses 16 and 17, a young man comes to Jesus and says, "What good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?" And in Jesus' answer, he says, "Keep the commandments." Now, why didn't Jesus say, to have eternal life, you have to believe on me? Here's why. Because in Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, it says, "But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law." Jesus was born and lived under the law. So Jesus gave an appropriate answer to that man under the law. Now we are no longer under the law. Romans chapter 6, verse 14 says, "For ye are not under the law, but under grace." The New Testament really didn't start until Jesus died. Take a look at Hebrews chapter 9, verse 16. So we're under grace. So how do we get saved? "For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." We're not under the law. You get saved by faith, trust, belief in Jesus, him alone, and nothing else. Now, a potential problem, because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, most of the events in those books were under the law. So you will have verses like Matthew chapter 19, verse 16 and 17, that emphasize works. And some people who believe still that you have to work your way to heaven will run to those verses and say, "See, this is what Matthew says. See, this is what this verse says." But it was written under the law. So we have to realize that. Salvation today is through trust, belief, faith in Jesus. We're saved by grace and nothing else. Now, once a person is saved, the sanctification process starts. And yes, we should keep the commandments the very best we should be able to keep them. We should do good works, do good service. But that's not the way to have eternal life. We are no longer under the law.